brought up that year, the first three people that got on base against him, Mick, he picked off. First three people. And ladies and gentlemen, in 1961, he won 11 games. He also was ninth in the league in terms of complete games with 12. And he made the All-Star team in 61. In 1962, he made two All-Star teams. He was 19 and 14, 274 innings pitched,
Wow.
20 complete games, second best in the National League. 1964, that ill-fated year, 6.5 games, Phillies lead, 12 games to go. Art had a terrific year, 12 and 9 in 157 innings pitched, 4.52 earned run average. His three-time All-Star, you know, we try to have him on this show every year around April 23rd. Why? Because on April 23rd, 1961, he struck out 17 Chicago Cubs. And this was no bad Cubs team. Ernie Banks, Ron Santo, Billy Williams, Richie Ashburn. Mickey had moved over from the Phillies to the Cubs by this time. And yet, on April 23rd, 1961, our guest tonight set the record for the most strikeouts in a 9-inning game by a Phillies pitcher. 17. It has never... In fact, I believe when he did that, and he can correct me, I'm trying to think of the great St. Louis Cardinal and Chicago Cub.
Dizzy Dean.
Dizzy Dean
Yeah.
had the record. Art tied the record for most strikeouts in a 9-inning game when he did this. And it still stands today. And here's something else about this guy before I bring him on here. He was the hardest thrower on the Phillies, of course. Now, keep in mind that the Phillies Hall of Fame, the great Robin Roberts, who helped the Phillies win the National League pennant in 1950 to play the Yankees in the World Series. Robbie was a hard thrower who was at the tail end of his career by 1960. The two hardest throwers on the Phillies were Art Mahaffey and relief pitcher, all-star relief pitcher, Dick Farrell. Art Mahaffey was also among the few that threw 100 miles per hour at that time in Major League Baseball. In the National League, it was Art Mahaffey, Bob Gibson, a couple other names you may have heard of, Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Jim Maloney, and Art Mahaffey. They were the hardest throwers in the league. Art Mahaffey was the top Phillies pitching prospect, and he gave a lot of young Phillies fans like myself hope for the future. After 5 or 6 years of horrific baseball in which the team was not very good. But giving us hope was this man right here, number 28, Phillies pitcher Art Mahaffey. Thank you, Art.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
You're one of my heroes. And ladies and gentlemen, guess what I have to tell you? Here's another distinction about Art Mahaffey that few people know. It's quite a distinction. Who do you think was the first Phillies player to ever be featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated? Art Mahaffey. And guess what? Art Mahaffey and his wife Janet, the beautiful Janet Mahaffey right here, and their family. For you regulars who've been kind enough to follow Mickey Morandini, Tommy Green, Gary Matthews, Greg Luzinski, and me around the Delaware Valley at all the Chickies and Pete's, the Bluebell Inn, the Hard Rock Cafe, and many others. Art has copied that Sports Illustrated cover and signed it. And he asked me to give it to some of his fans in his behalf, and he's autographed it. Ladies and gentlemen, this piece of memorabilia has got to be worth $50. Not that I want you to sell it, I want you to keep it as an appreciation. And I'd first like to call up to give one of these to Gene Decky. Gene, would you come up, please? Gene Decky is kind enough to take me back and forth to Phillies games and brought me here tonight.
Dan, give him the paper in there, too.
Oh, so Gene, you get this. And Art has, and she's here with her cousin Michael. So that's for you, Gene. And we have one for Michael, too. And just want to say,
Thank you very much.
Michael, thank you.
That's right.
Thank you. Steve, come up here. I told you I had something for you from the master. There you go.
Hey, take it.
All right, that's pretty good, isn't it? Sean Steinbacher, come on up here. This is for you and Tara. Sean, and we have a fact sheet, Sean, about Art. If I can get it out here. So you enjoy that. Who else did I see? Ellen Foreman and Jack Foreman. You have one, but did Jack get one? Okay. Here, Ellen, come on up here. Ellen does a beautiful photo book of the Bull Session every year. Ellen, you come up and let me give you this too. And Ellen, here, one more thing. And then throughout the night, we're hoping to make some new friends. Take two. I'm clumsy. Jake Schwartz, aspiring PA announcer, the backup PA announcer for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. And his dad's going to be here tonight. I'm looking forward. I want to wish Jake a happy Passover. And we have been friends for years, as I have been with a number of terrifically talented young PA announcers like Kevin Linton with the Wilmington Blue Bombers, and Justin Choate, first with the Reading Fightin' Phils, now with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, and also a mentor to Jake Schwartz. Jake, please come up here, accept this, if you will. Jake Schwartz, you're going to be hearing about this young man, folks.
That's very nice. Thank you, sir. Good to see you, Mr.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks for coming. Okay, that's we have more of them. Art Mahaffey did 20 of these. If he does 50 more, you could sell stocks, I think. But we really appreciate it. And Sean Steinbacher, do you have, I hope, if there's any other old friends that I don't recognize. Oh, Mark Weissner. Mark Weissner, come on up here. Mark Weissner, this kind man, gives us a photo giveaway every week. Last week, how about that? Yeah. Who is that over there? Well, come on up here and get one of these. Come on up here and get one of these. Come on up here. You deserve one of these. And is there anybody else that All right. Well, we've got a few more left. I'm telling you, people are looking at me like I'm trying to pull something over on them. We're not selling these. This is a gift from WBCB Radio, Mickey Morandini, Dan Baker, and Art Mahaffey to say thank you. And Chris Ermer. Let's give Chris Ermer one. Our producer. Here you go, buddy. You can put this as a down payment towards your daughter's tuition. You know. Here you go, buddy. Oh, this is fun. And we love all of you folks and appreciate you being here tonight for us. Mickey, would you care to add anything to that?
No, we're good.
Art Mahaffey, thank you for being so thoughtful.
That's okay.
And
That's all right.
I'm telling you, when I was a kid, I loved the Phillies so much. I wanted to be a Phillies player at first. Then when I realized that I'm like 99% of the rest of the boys, I'm not good enough, you know. But, hey, we'll be back with the second part of tonight's Independence Blue Cross Bull Session presented by SEPTA after this message.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Wrap up your workday with the all-new Chickies and Pete's Happy Hour. With unbeatable specials weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Enjoy half-price orders of Chickies Meaty and Tender Wings, one of our tasty and delicious pizzas, or an order of mouth-watering hot, cold, or fried shrimp. Plus $3 domestic bottled beers, $5 Tito's, and $6 seltzers. It's the all-new Happy Hour, weekdays 4 to 6 p.m. only at Chickies and Pete's.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Bringing in top talent is as easy as 1, 2, Key. SEPTA Key Advantage is a unique and valuable transit benefit program that gives your employees all-day, everyday access to the entire SEPTA system. That means your staff can get into the office, over to a meeting, and out for the night, seamlessly and affordably, all thanks to you. Learn how easy it is to customize a SEPTA Key Advantage program for your team at SEPTA.org/partner programs. That's SEPTA.org/partner programs.
1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM W297CL Levittown.
We now return to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session presented by SEPTA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker and Mickey Morandini.
Oh,
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Oh, it's wonderful to see you. Gene Decky and Michael over there. And it's really nice to see everyone. But how about those Phillies? 6 in a row, 8-2 on the last home stand. They're in Cincinnati tonight. That's why our show started early at 5:30. We'll be done at 6:30. But somebody else has to talk here, you know. And Mickey Morandini, look, he's in playing shape. Look at him, folks. How good he looks.
Thank you.
How you doing, number 12?
I'm all good. This is my my opening day here. I'm a little nervous.
You have been such an asset. You know, Mick, I was looking over some of the terrific Phillies second basemen over the years, and it's hard to. First of all, it's hard to last a long time with one team. Secondly, nobody is great all the time. You know, there's ups and downs.
Yep.
And it's hard to maintain one's popularity, and sometimes fans get frustrated. But you were loved by the Phillies fans from the time you came up, and you still are. And you're still part of the club.
Yeah.
And we're so proud that you've chosen to make your home here and be a part of this organization post-career.
Thank you.
Now, how did that evolve that way? Because you played with Toronto, you played with Chicago. You had an unbelievable year in 1998 for the Cubs.
Yeah, I retired in spring of 2000. I had rotator cuff issues. I wanted to play a couple more years, but my right shoulder wouldn't let me. So, I took some time off. I had 3 young kids at the time, 3 young boys. Took some time off, and then Ruben Amaro called me and said, hey, if you ever want to get back in baseball, let me know. And I said, all right, I will. And then about a year later, I was like, I better get back into this game because I've been out for a while, and I need to know some people that are going to let me back in. So I called Ruben and said, I think I'm ready. And he said, we got an opening in Williamsport for a manager's job. Are you interested?
Ooh.
So I took it, and then I ended up coaching 5 years in the minor leagues, a couple years in the big leagues. And then, Gabe came in with Matt Klintak, and they wanted their own coaching staff and people. So I ended up being the team ambassador. I've been doing that for about 6 years now. So I love this organization. I think they're the best organization in baseball. They do so much charity work. Obviously, Mr. Middleton wants to win. He's not afraid to go out there and spend money on good ball players, and it's a fun organization to be a part of.
Well, I think, Mickey, recognizing high character people like yourself and hiring them to represent Phillies baseball is a smart move on the part of the Phillies.
Thank you.
Mickey, here's a guy right here, Art Mahaffey. My goodness gracious. You talk about, great young people and coming through the organization. And I want to ask you about your Olympic experience. This guy made the United States Olympic baseball team also. That's quite a darn achievement.
Thank you.
I want to get into that, but here we get this big name guest. We haven't even heard him speak hardly yet. So, Art, and you know what, folks? This guy recuperated from a broken hip to come down here tonight and dance with Ellen Foreman. And I think that is darn nice. How are you feeling?
Not too good.
Oh.
Mickey said he had something to do with his hip, but I tripped over a piece of luggage and did it. It's been like 3 months, but it's more pain than any injury I ever had in baseball. It's the way it is, and I know a lot of people have had that happen. And nothing you can do about it. You just got to recuperate, but it takes a long time, I'm sure. So.
He's from the same high school in Cincinnati as Pete Rose.
Yeah, Pete and I went to high school, and 11 guys in the big leagues went to high school.
Oh, wow.
Fact is, 17 strikeouts I had. 3 of us were from Western Hills High School in the game.
Who were the others?
Don Zimmer, Dick Trott, and myself.
Wow.
But I tell people, too, my sister dated Pete Rose's brother for 2 years. And he was bigger than Pete and rougher than Pete. She said whenever they went out, nobody messed with him. When they looked at him, they just got out of the way.
Oh, my goodness.
And you know how hard Pete played.
Oh, yeah, nobody messed with Pete either.
No.
Yeah. He's the baseball's all-time hits leader.
Yep.
Pete Rose. I remember when he came up in '63. So, Art, we were talking about hardest throwers, and you and I converse a couple times a week, and for years. And you meant so much to Philadelphia baseball fans. Oh, Mick, at the end of the 1950s, the Phils, we all loved them, but my gosh, they were struggling big time then. They had a 23-game losing streak in 1961. And in fact, the manager of the Whiz Kids, who had the Phillies had rehired because they were doing so poorly in the second half of the 1950s. Of course, the Whiz Kids won the National League pennant in 1950 and played the Yankees. they hired Eddie Sawyer back in hopes of him being able to turn the team into a winning one. And Eddie quit the first day of the 1960 season. He said, "I'm 49 years old. I want to live to be 50." So, do you remember that time, Art?
No, not really. Not in the 50s, but in the 60s I do. That's when we lost 24 games in a row. 1961, like you said. It was hard. And John Buzzhart broke that streak. And then crazily, the next night I pitched a one-hit shutout, and 4 days later a three-hit shutout. So once a streak is broken, then you do good again.
Yeah.
You know, but it just went on. We lost for a month. So you can imagine how the fans felt in Philadelphia. It was terrible. Yeah.
They also said of Art Mahaffey, he had the best pickoff move of any right-handed pitcher in baseball. One of the reasons that they said that, Art, was the first three batters that ever reached base against you in the National League, you picked off.
Yeah, Kurt Flood, Bill White, and a guy named Jim Marshall the next game. But I used to pick a lot of guys off every year. And I just had a move, and Robin Roberts wanted me to teach it to him. So we went out one day, and I'm saying, "Robbie, you got to do this and that." He said, "I quit. I'm not doing it." He said, "I'll tear my hip out."
Yeah.
You know.
Here's something else that speaks to Art Mahaffey's great ability to pick runners off base. Tell him, Art, what happened when you're pitching in the All-Star game and who's on first base? From the New York Yankees, center fielder Mickey Mantle, number 7. Art Mahaffey's on the mound. What happens next?
Well, I picked Mickey off first base, which was a thrill. I was just a kid. And he slid back, he's out, and the umpire looked like this, and he went safe. He had looked home. He thought I threw home. And Dick Stewart, who played first base for us, I hit him in the chest twice. He was just standing there picking off a guy because he thought I threw home. So I just had that move that I could do that. It was nothing that I practiced or anything. But I think in the minors,
you're right-handed, right?
Yeah, I think I picked
Like
off.
I could understand that if he was left-handed,
Yeah.
but right-handed, that's amazing.
Dixie Walker, who played years ago, was coaching for Pittsburgh. So Bill Burden led off one game. I picked him off. And before I did, I heard him yell, "He's got a good move. Don't get off first base." So I picked him off. And 2 guys later, I picked the next guy off. So Dixie videoed me with a camera, movie camera. Took it to the umpires and everything and showed it to them, but they didn't call a balk. Except one time, Jocko Collin, who was a crazy little umpire, did a lot of crazy things. He called a balk on me. And after the game, I said, "Why did you?" He said, "I just felt like it." So,
Probably felt nobody could do that.
yeah.
How are we doing here, Chris? All right, we're going to take a break. We're about halfway through tonight's show. How are you enjoying it so far, ladies and gentlemen? Art Mahaffey and Mickey Morandini. I'm Dan Baker, back after this.
Hey, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Dive into our delectable seasonal seafood specials, including our Chickies and Pete's Sticky Lobster Tacos, succulent Brazilian tail meat in a spicy sauce, or try our Chickie and Pete's Shrimp Po' Boy, our signature fried shrimp, lettuce, roasted tomato, and a cherry pepper sauce, served on a fresh baguette. Plus, don't forget our Chickie and Pete's buy one, get one sweet and tasty snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday, only at Chickies and Pete's.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
I SEPTA Philly. I SEPTA Philly. I SEPTA Philly.
I take SEPTA so I never miss tip-off. I do not have time to deal with traffic.
I don't have a car. Do you know how expensive parking is?
I take the Broad Street line to all the games.
I ride the bus.
I ride the train and the subway.
I set my lineup when I ride.
I check Twitter, text my buddies.
I watch sports highlights or lowlights.
For real Philly fans, SEPTA is the hometown way to go. Ride with us at iseptaphilly.com.
Hi, Paul Muller from Team Toyota of Langhorne. If you've been waiting to buy your next pre-owned vehicle due to surging used car prices, then we have some great news for you. With over 45 used cars under $20,000, we have something for every budget. Plus, with our MVP pricing guarantee, warranty forever, and free maintenance for 1 year, you can rest assured that you're getting a reliable used car at a great price. Visit us in Langhorne on Route 1 or shop online at teamlanghorne.com.
We now return to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session presented by SEPTA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker and Mickey Morandini.
Hey everybody, how are you? And now, producer Chris Armour sings, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." No, okay, all right. Well, hey, welcome back to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session. Mickey Morandini now has our Independence Blue Cross Live Fearless Phillies Player of the Week.
So each week during Phillies season, we will name a different Independent Blue Cross live, right? Live. I'm sorry, I said live. Live Fearless Player of the Week. This week's Live Fearless Player of the Week is, I'm going to go with Johan Rojas. Now this pitching staff has been unbelievable. So I can't just pick one. They've all been really good. But Johan, if you remember, he was hitting about $140, and he hit over 400 this past week. So his average went way up to about 250, 260. So I don't know how many Player of the Weeks Johan's going to have this year. So I'm going to give it to him. He's had a really good week, and he's playing excellent defense. So he's my Independence Blue Cross Live Fearless Player of the Week.
And Mickey, while we're talking for a moment about the current team, what do you think after an 8-2 homestand? The Phils are at Cincinnati tonight. Ranger Suarez is pitching against the Reds. Did you expect this beginning for the Phillies in 24? Are you happy? Is it a surprise? What are your feelings?
I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, if you look at their schedule, it shouldn't be a surprise. The homestand was great, but they did what they should do. You know, they played some weaker teams, and in the past couple of years, they've had struggles against some of the weaker teams. So they played very well. The bats came alive the last couple series. The pitching's been off the charts, especially the starting pitching. It's been amazing. So I think they're 14-8. We know what they've done the last 2 years. It's been kind of reversed. So to get off to this good start, this is a huge road trip for them. I think it's a 10-game road trip. I think it's Reds, Cardinals, and I don't remember who the
Angels.
Angels. So it's a big road trip for them. We'll see how they handle and how they play out on the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the best pennant races in which the Phillies were ever involved was 1964. And right in the middle of it was number 28, Art Mahaffey. In fact, with a 6.5 game lead, only 12 games remaining, unfortunately, the Phillies embarked on a 10-game losing streak, which eventually cost them the pennant by just 1 game. The first game in that 10-game streak was pitched by Art Mahaffey, who lost by the narrowest of margins, 1-0. Art, what's your recollection about that game, that streak, and the 1964 Philadelphia Phillies?
Well, it was a shock when we lost, for sure. But before that first game, I had a 2-hit shutout or something against Pittsburgh. So the score is 0-0 about the 5th or 6th inning. Frank Robinson was leading the league, and a right-handed hitter. And Chico Ruiz, 2 outs, was on third base. And Chick Ruiz stole home with Frank Robinson hitting a right-hander. If he swings a bat, he hits him right in the head. And Fred Hutchinson, who managed the Reds, said it was such a stupid play. If he hadn't have made it, I wouldn't have let him play the rest of the year or even next year. It was so stupid. But I lost 1-0. We had runners on second with nobody out 4 times that game. Then about the 5th or 6th game, I was winning 4-1 in the 5th inning, and he took me out. Gene Muck took me out. Another run of mine scored off, so 4-2. We were still winning in the 9th inning, and I would have been a winning pitcher in the 9th inning. And Bobby Shantz came in and loaded the base, and Rico Cardi hit a 3-run triple. Well, anyhow, they scored, and we got beat 6-4.
By the Milwaukee Braves.
Yeah. Yeah, and we had one game during that stretch, I think. We were losing 10-1, and we scored 8 runs in 1 inning. And then we had a guy overrun second base, get tagged out, and we lost that game. But it was a shock to lose 10 games in a row. And how do you have 2 other teams win 10 games in a row?
Right.
The Cardinals and the Reds.
A schedule couldn't have worked out like that again.
Yeah, one of those things. Chris, we have time to take a break right now. And then we'll come back and finish tonight's show. You guys really have so much to recommend you, and there's so much to say about you, and you have so many interesting things to say. We're just about out of show time now. But we do have a little bit more. Chris Irmer, how much more time when we come back with Art Mahaffey and Mickey Morandini? 10 minutes. Okay, one more segment. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Art Mahaffey, Mickey Morandini, and me, Dan Baker, on WBCB, 1490 AM, 107.3 FM. We'll be right back.
Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. Here's a winner, fall football, and Chickies and Pete's mouth-watering snow crab legs. For a limited time, buy one and get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday. Enjoy the sweet, delicate flavor of snowy white crab meat dressed in our special blend of seasonings and spices. Pair it with an ice-cold draft beer or one of our signature cocktails. Buy one and get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday for a limited time. Restrictions apply. Chickies and Pete's.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
SEPTA offers a variety of career opportunities. Our core business is transit, and with 5 modes of service, we rely on and need operators, engineers, and conductors. But it takes a host of other specialties, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, and more to keep the system moving. As an employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org.
Hi, Paul Muller from Team Toyota of Langhorne. If you've been waiting to buy your next pre-owned vehicle due to surging used car prices, then we have some great news for you. With over 45 used cars under $20,000, we have something for every budget. Plus, with our MVP pricing guarantee, warranty forever, and free maintenance for 1 year, you can rest assured that you're getting a reliable used car at a great price. Visit us in Langhorne on Route 1 or shop online at teamlanghorne.com.
We now return to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session presented by SEPTA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker and Mickey Morandini.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session. Hey, tonight, man, what a great host Chickies and Pete's is. And we're going to be at just about every one of them, Mickey.
Yes, we are.
And Art, before the end of the summer. Next week, we're at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. We're going to be at Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown, Audubon, Malvern, Parks Casino. We've been to Marlton already, and we hope Ellen and Jack Foreman, Sean and Tara Steinbacher have been to. They go to all these places with us, and if anybody else wants to come along, we're happy. I know that Jean Decky and her husband Steve are going to be coming to more of them. And by the way, Jean Decky, ladies and gentlemen, she is a hostess and works every home game for the Phillies. She is also president of the Stadium Workers Union. And she's called a foul on Mark. She had Mark Weissner. She's reporting you to the union. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Jake Schwartz, did your dad ever get here? Okay. Well, Jake, it's wonderful to have you here too, young man. Very talented PA announcer from whom you'll be hearing. Now, the Phillies play the Reds tonight, Mickey and Art. And you talked about the great start, Mick. How do you see the rest of the year playing out for the Phillies?
I mean, that's a really good ball club. Health is going to be a key part of it. If we can keep that rotation healthy for the most part of the year, I think we're going to be in the playoffs again. I think we're going to make a run. And tonight, I don't know if people know, but Bryce is having a baby. So he will not be at the game tonight. I don't know if he'll take his 3 full days or not, but congratulations to Bryce. Hopefully everything is going well. But
and his place being taken by Cody Clemens. And I know Jake is familiar with that. That Cody Clemens is replacing Bryce Harper.
But really the only obstacle the last few years has been our slow start. So we're off to a good start. I expect real good things.
Art Mahaffey, I know that you haven't been a member of you haven't been a playing member of the Phillies team since 1965, but from your home and Janet's home up in Whitehall, Pennsylvania, a suburb of Allentown, you still follow this team. What are your thoughts, Art, on the 2024 Philadelphia Phillies?
Well, believe it or not, we watch the game every night. My wife she was dedicated to the Eagles for years, and now she has to see every game the Phillies play. It's unreal. So I think they're going to win. They just played some pretty bad teams. There's no doubt about that. Teams that nobody hit the ball hardly or did anything, but the pitching was great. It depends on how many of the other teams how they are in the league. If they improved or bought some players or added to their teams. It's going to be a little harder, but like Mickey said, they always started out slow. Now they got a cushion. They started out fast. So I think they'll be in the playoffs, and I think they'll go. I think they'll win. We totally think they'll win, and they're going to beat Atlanta. So.
Now, Art Mahaffey, you being a 3-time All-Star pitcher for the Phillies, who do you like on this pitching staff, and why?
Well, you have to like all of them. But you know what's funny is that's just changed in a second. Last night I looked up about making the All-Star team since we were going to talk. And years ago, it said 1947, Cincinnati had 7 starters in the All-Star game. And they changed the rules of how you vote for it and everything. But anyhow, I think, wow, they're all... The first 3 guys are great, and they're good, and they're throwing strikes. And that's the main thing, to throw strikes, because everybody takes pitches now. When I played, a guy didn't come up and take 3 pitches down the middle and sit down. And a guy with 2 strikes and runners on base didn't take strike 3 and come back to the dugout with saying, "You're getting paid to drive the runs in, you better swing the bat or you're not going to play tomorrow." But how many guys do it now? So they're you throw strikes, you're going to strike a lot of guys out and win a lot of games. So.
Mickey, of the young players who are on the team, and hey, you've managed in the Phillies farm system. You've coached the big league team, and I think, like Larry Bow and Charlie Manuel, you have a certain affection for some of the younger players. You named Johan Rojas as our Independence Blue Cross Live Fearless Phillies Player of the Week. Are there any other young players, Mickey, that you think are in a position to help the Phillies in 2024?
Well, I mean, if you consider Marsh young, absolutely. I mean, he's playing off the charts. He's hitting for power. He's playing great defense. He's having a lot of fun out there. Obviously, Stott, he struggled a little bit offensively so far, but he's going to be fine. He plays a great second base. So those three guys, and Rojas, if Rojas can hit 240, 250 with the way he plays center field, he'll be out there for a long, long time. So I think the one thing that Dave Dombrowski is doing is you have to kind of look in the future. And Schwarber and Castellanos' contracts, they got one more year after this year. I don't know if they'll re-sign either one of them. But with Rojas and Marsh, you got a pretty good, twosome out there in the outfield. So they might need a little bit more power out there. But I'm sure Dave's starting to, even though it's a year down the road, he's probably starting to finagle some things and see what they can do in the outfield in the future.
I so much appreciate John Middleton's naming Dave Dombrowski senior president in charge of baseball operations. He reminds me so much, Mick and Art, of Pat Gillick, and the way that not only can he sign the big names, but supplement these great players. Like Mickey, here's a guy was among the second base defensive fielding percentage leaders career-wise, Whit Merrifield.
Right.
Hasn't done a whole lot so far, but he had some good years with the Kansas City Royals.
Made a couple all-star teams, I believe, and he's a guy that can play everywhere, which is very valuable right now. So I was really happy when they had the opportunity to pick him up. He's going to contribute a lot this year, I believe.
Art, do you have a favorite among the 2024 Phillies that you think has really distinguished himself so far this season?
Well, I think this season different guys have distinguished themselves. There's been some guys in slumps for a little while, and then they really do great for a little while. But you like Schwarber because you know he's going to hit his home runs. He'll hit his 50 home runs this year. And of course we like Harper. We like them all. My wife likes Stott.
Right. A second baseman like Mickey Morandini.
And I know now if you do pretty good, you get a song played for you when you come up to hit.
Oh, yes,
right?
you do.
Yeah. Hey, I liked Kyle Schwarber's line in the box score last night, Mick. 1 for 1, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs. He walked 3 times, and
sack fly.
Yes. So he's really contributing in that leadoff spot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people have complained about him leading off, but they win when he's in that leadoff spot, and that's the bottom line. And I think the manager Rob Thompson has always said that you lead off the game. But then once the game gets underway, you're just in the mix with everybody else. You're not a leadoff guy anymore. So he's done a great job there.
Art Mahaffey, when you were playing apart from Connie Mack Stadium in Philadelphia, home of the Phillies, what ballpark did you like to play in?
Well, I like San Francisco a lot, and Dodger Stadium, of course. But I liked Connie Mack Stadium when we played there. It was just a unique place to play. It really was. A great place to play.
Mickey, you, of course, played at the Vet.
Yeah.
The Veterans Stadium was the Phillies' home during your time. And, of course, Mickey, with all of his achievements, we know, a team player that he is, winning the 1993 National League pennant was among his most proud achievements. As far as stadiums, Mick, favorite stadium apart from the Vet?
Yeah, I got to go with Wrigley Field. There's just no place like it, with the bleachers and the ivy and day games and the atmosphere. It was a lot of fun to play there.
See, the hitters love Wrigley Field.
Yeah, they do.
The pitchers hate it.
They do.
For producer Chris Ermer, for Art Mahaffey, 3-time All-Star Phillies pitcher Mickey Morandini, second base All-Star for the Phillies. We'll be back next week at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. Thank you for listening and watching live stream. We'll see you next week.